Hey folks, it's Thaddeus Smith, the Solar Avenger, known across all social media platforms. And I have the pleasure of sometimes bringing people on to the Be Nice Individuals podcast to kind of highlight them, especially people that are well known for networking or in networking groups. And it's my pleasure today to have on Molly McDaniel,
Hello.
not not McDonald. You were just saying that a little bit ago,
Yep.
because if that were the case, you would be a millionaire and you wouldn't be talking to me, right?
I'd probably still talk to you. I like good people. So you'd still be in my network.
That's cool. That's cool. So how was your day today?
It's been going very well. Thank you. How about yourself?
It's good. I'm here at the podcast. Have you seen that on my social media at all?
I will admit I haven't caught any episodes, but I definitely see you promoting them. I am embarrassed to say I don't follow podcasts, even though every day I get closer to doing so.
I don't either, really. I just like the opportunity to do a longer format with people, just to pretty much have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been promoting this location because I got involved in this project here to do some promoting and producing. So, but it's super close to being done.
Great.
And there was a computer picture that I had posted the other day, and it looked like some '80s monitor. So maybe you saw that, or if you didn't, go back and look at it. It's very interesting. I would show you, but I'd have to move the camera. And we got our camera angles perfect now,
Okay.
me
Perfect.
and you. No, you did too before we
Okay.
started.
It
Yeah.
is true.
So,
There's a lot of pre-production people don't realize.
oh yeah, you gotta like move stuff out of the way. And before we turned on the camera, there was like a cable tie in the shot, and I was wondering, I'm like, what is that? That shadow? Where is that coming from? So, so you had an appointment just before this, and I was scraping a door just
Yeah.
before this.
You know what? Movers and shakers. There's always something.
I don't know how much of a mover and shaker I was doing just on that door, though. So the podcast is it's in a, you could say, kind of like a complex,
Mm-hmm.
uh, bunch of other like businesses in this area and whatnot, and the business next door needed its door uh, is going to be refinished essentially. So I was on the door, basically getting off all the old paint, and so they'll be able to have a nice clean door that'll actually
Nice.
get refinished once that. So I'd say it's pretty much done now as far as the paint has been removed. But
Well,
enough about me.
but
What?
it's interesting that you mentioned the door. So, right, that's
Yeah,
the first opinion, the first view that people have, and unfortunately, this society is so judgy that those little
that is
things do make
true.
a difference. And maybe you will change their business because someone sees that they have a fresh coat of paint, or it looks like a new door, or that they're investing money in their business. So that don't let your deed go unwarranted, unnoticed, I
that's
guess.
very that's very fair. And I was already jumping the gun. I said enough about me. Molly,
Yes.
tell the people who are going to watch this as soon as we go live here. Tell the people about you. So I met you. How did I meet you? I
I
feel like it was to
believe
Be Nice Individuals.
it was, and I don't even know how I found that. So someone either posted or maybe invited me to join, but someone
Mhm.
else connected us. And then, yes, I joined, was approved, saw one of your posts in there, and I think you were requesting meeting up for one-to-one. So that's how I originally reached out. And then you've been great with connecting with people, and I'm trying to connect you with people. And that's what it's all
That's
about,
great.
right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I almost feel like it was Monica. Was it Monica by chance?
I don't know. I don't know. It could have been Monica Z.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's a
Can't
fabulous.
pronounce her last name.
That's why I say Monica Z. I'd rather just say Z correctly than butcher her last name because she's too respectful of a person to
Yeah.
not pronounce her name. And I've heard her say it. I've even had her pronounce it slowly. I think I just need to take notes and phonetically figure out a way to remember how to say it correctly. But yeah, it's quite possible. She's an amazing connector, and I really am thankful that I know her. And she and I have done great things trying to help connect each other, make this world a little bit better at a time.
Yeah, but Monica Z sounds cool at the same
Yeah,
time.
true.
It's almost like, I don't know, like a celebrity name, you might think. So
Well, she's
like
a celebrity
Monica,
in that she is a celebrity in the Jax Northeast Florida networking. So yeah, that is a good. Yeah, she
That's
is a
true.
celebrity.
She's
The
supposed to
goat,
be on the podcast soon.
Monica Z, the goat insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are with Money Pages.
I am. Yep.
Is that tell me more about Money Pages. So I've toured the facility before. It's super cool. I was out there. I don't know if you saw the clip, but I did a tour of it with Cynthia.
Okay.
But before I even went into the building, I was out in the grass, like taking video and stuff. And I'm sure they saw me on the security cams, wondering what I was doing. But I'm sure it was fine. But tell me more about Money Pages for the people that don't know what Money Pages is.
Yeah. So Money Pages is a locally owned, which is very important still. Incentive-based magazine's been around for 23 years. And the goal and the continued purpose is to help local businesses have an affordable advertising option, as well as help homeowners save. So helping both ends of the transaction, which is great. We are the main, I guess, where it started was here in Jacksonville, and that encompasses, I guess, from Southeast Georgia, Camden and Charlton County, all the way down to Palm Coast is the main part of Jacksonville. And then there is in Volusia County, there is a franchise which has 4 magazines. And there are several other franchises in parts of Georgia, Carolinas, Virginia. Actually, here in Florida, this fall, we are launching a new franchise in the Treasure Coast. So down in the Fort Pierce area,
Oh,
another magazine. So anyone out there listening, if you are interested in starting a business that has proven track record, there are franchising options available. So you can let me know. I can put you in touch with the appropriate people. All of the artwork is here based out of Jacksonville, a team of, I think it's 8 graphic designers. So it's nice. It's not just one person you rely on. There really is a team that can bounce ideas off each other and work to different strengths. And one artist isn't the same as another artist, and they bring different perspectives. But
yeah.
yeah, the magazine's great. It is all incentive based. There's no articles or things like that. It's truly just businesses getting the word out there in the homes. I like to tell people that I can legally help you get into the homes with money to spend, and no, I'm not a locksmith. So through their mailbox, through their phone, through their computer, through their tablet, we have options to help local businesses tell their story in front of homeowners with money to spend.
Yeah, so there is the magazine itself that comes out. Would you call it a magazine?
Yeah,
Okay. But there are other advertising methods that you guys have, such as social media. Is that right? Or at
correct.
least like, okay, tell me more about the other options so I
Yeah,
don't get anything wrong.
absolutely. So we'll stick with the magazine for one more minute. So the
Absolutely.
magazine, again, can reach 436,000 homes in Jacksonville. And if you add on those other areas, it gets closer to almost 600,000 homes. And then an advertiser who maybe doesn't want to reach as many people, they can specify zip codes. So if there's a business that wants to reach a targeted zip code or a few zip codes, that is an option. And there's some premium products that are either inserted into the magazine, or we have standalone postcards that mail out to different specific areas. And then one of the great things about those aspects are they're exclusive to one business. So you won't ever have competing businesses utilizing those products. If we get away from print, yes, social media. We have a great social media team that can manage businesses organic. So all of their daily regular posts, whether it's specifically related to our industry or about their staff or services. And then if they wanted a paid campaign, we can help them create and manage the paid advertisement through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and as well to expand upon the digital advertising, any sort of internet-based advertising that's not social media-based. So whether it's search, sometimes called PPC or pay-per-click, or targeted display, basically when someone's online, either looking specifically for something, those ads that pop up, or when they're on a website and they're reading an article, some kind of page that's content driven, all of those little banner ads that pop up, those are not randomly popping up. They're popping up specifically to that user on that page. So say you and I, Thaddeus, were on the exact same website, we could truly have totally different ads appearing to us because we're different, right? Whether we're looking at where we live, gender, age, race, interests, marital status. There's any number of factors that are put into campaigns to find that exact user that business is looking for. So as much as I love it as a consumer, I hate it. Sorry, I love it as a business. I hate it as a consumer when ads are following. It can be very effective. And pairing the two together, a print and a digital campaign, can be very effective for businesses.
Yeah. So that's interesting because, I actually dyed this luscious mane of beard. And so you wouldn't get those ads, though, for beard dye, at least if the campaign was done right.
I hope not.
So that's cool. So you guys have the magazine, which I see all the time. But the postcards, would I even know that they came from Money Pages?
You would. So the front of the
Okay.
card is all space for the advertiser to put their message, pictures, offers, what have you. On the back side of it, about half of it is available for the advertiser to put their information. The other half includes the space for the post office to put the postage, the address, and in that part, it does say Money Pages, but it's much smaller than obviously the cover of Money Pages, where it really stands out. Money Pages.
Okay. So I probably have handled Money Pages postcards and whatnot and just not even noticed. I'll have to pay attention to that next time. So one of the things too that I have some exposure with, as far as just an understanding of, is the phone numbers you guys have as it relates to those advertisements, so that like the campaigns can actually be tracked.
Correct.
And you can see as far as the results that a person's getting. Can you speak to that?
Absolutely. So yes, it's a great feature that we offer our clients, that we can create a call tracking number. That number can route to any number they want, cell phone or landline, for those that still have landlines. But yes, it's a number that comes in and it automatically goes through to the number that it's allocated. Great thing is all of those calls are recorded. So if a call is missed, say someone has a larger call, an inbound call center that if more than one person, whether it's 2 or 10 or however many people are answering calls, it's a great way to do quality control, to make sure your staff is communicating the correct message, making sure they're personable, anything like that. So that's a great way to overall check to make sure that the message and that your staff is conveying that message that you want and that presence you want. And then as well, the great reason for it being recorded is if a call is missed or hung up or not connected, or for some reason they don't capture that time of talking with the individual, that's there as well. So you can get the name and phone number. So yeah, it's a nominal cost too for businesses, which is great.
Yeah, I think that's super cool because especially if a business relies heavily on phone calls coming in, or even just out dialing people, and you have people calling back, but you're missing them. I feel like this is a great way to kind of have that follow up.
Yep.
And as a person in business, I feel like follow up is one of the hardest things. Like, I think most entrepreneurs struggle with that. Have you noticed that?
It is true. And not just follow up, but attentiveness, right? So unfortunately, we are in a lesser and lesser patient society. And if someone needs your service, whether it's for their home or their medical or finances or whatever their need is, right? The quicker you can respond to them and give them peace of mind, or reassure them, or just help them find a solution to whatever their need is, the better. And the more likely they are going to schedule with you, to keep their appointment, versus if they're calling, 2 or 3 or sometimes more to get an estimate or pricing. The longer they have to wait, that gives them more time to talk to your competitor, and it, just gives your competitor one more leg up.
Yeah, I feel like as a society, we've kind of moved in that direction of more instant gratification. So, Amazon, you got the day shipping. In some places, they even have stuff that arrive within an hour.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that, but you have that, and we have streaming movies now. very, I'd say like the way society is framed and structured now has caused a business like yourself to be so important to make sure that business owners don't lose the way society is shaped. Would you agree with that?
No, I definitely agree, and there's pros and cons to everything, right? Sometimes it
Yeah,
is better to have a little bit of a delay, not a delay, but a pause to think things over. Or
sure.
yeah, you do have to keep up with society, and thankfully we do, and that's kind of the way the business has grown too. Starting as just a print company, and several years ago, staying in line with the way society is shifting a little bit, not entirely away from print, but more towards digital, and having an even more instant gratification when needing an answer. Yeah, that MoneyPage has been able to evolve and add on those digital services, those online services.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're in Money Pages. You've been in Money Pages for a bit. What brought you to Money Pages? If I can go kind of more personal.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have had a myriad of experience in my career. Just kind of each job has led to different skill sets that have kind of built upon themselves. And several, gosh, decades ago, stumbled into clinical research, so drug trials. While I was working there, it's where I really developed the ability to talk to anyone, learn that there's three answers to every question: yes, no, I don't know, I'll get back
Hmm.
to you, and develop business development, develop my skills for communication, project management, as well as relationship management. So I was a stay-at-home mom for 6.5 years. It was fabulous. I would not have done that over again if I could. I absolutely enjoyed that time with my boys. But when I had to return to the workforce, I again stumbled into advertising, happened to have a conversation with someone randomly who was looking for their ad agency to expand their healthcare footprint. Because I had a background in healthcare and wasn't afraid to talk to doctors, wasn't afraid to talk to pharmaceutical companies, they hired me on. So I learned about advertising on the job, and was with an ad agency here in Jacksonville for 6 years. And randomly, Money Pages reached out to me. My now boss was previously, I guess, a peer. The agency worked with a few clients that had ads running in Money Pages, and I was the rep, and he was the rep, and so we had communicated and worked together to create the best plan for the clients. And they had the opportunity, and he reached out, and yeah, I just tried a different avenue. So that's how I ended up at Money Pages, a random message in my LinkedIn inbox.
It's funny how life works like that.
Hmm.
Like like who would have thought? Like I'm not from here. I'm from St. Louis originally, but who would have thought 3, 4 years ago that I'd be sitting here in Florida in a podcast studio? Like,
It's
yeah,
so true. I mean, yes, there are certain businesses and certain career paths that education is very laid out for you, whether it's medical or legal or trades, things like that. The type of industry that I'm in, I mean, I was a psych major in college, and it was great. I loved it. I worked for a pediatric hospital right out of college, and there's so many careers where you just develop certain skill sets that can translate to any industry. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the Philadelphia suburbs. Never thought I would have, never really planned that far ahead whether I would or wouldn't stay in that area. But I don't know if you know the game. It seems like more of a girl game. It's called MASH. You take a piece of paper and you write at the top MASH, and then you write like three or four home types, three or four car types, and I think it's three or four areas that you want to live. And you literally, I forget how you calculate it, but you go through, it's like, say the number's 10. So you start on M, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you cross off that thing on the list. And you go all the way around until you have one of the original letters, one of the homes, one of the cars, and one of the geographic areas. And that's supposed to be the type of house you have. So it's mansion, apartment, shack. I don't know what it all stands for, but anyway, so yeah, I remember back in the day putting Florida as a place to live, California, coming from Pennsylvania, anywhere warm and sunny was delightful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lived in Phoenix for a decade. That was a random decision. And now I've been here in Florida for 12 years. So you're right. You don't know what the future holds. And it's great to have that flexibility of picking up and moving to a new area. And again, bringing skill set with you and applying it to different industries.
Yeah, that's true. Like for me, been in law enforcement for 12 years, previously in law enforcement for 12 years. I feel like not everything translates over, but as far as just interacting with people, I feel like that's a skill that you learn in law
Mhm.
enforcement, how to kind of solve crisis situations and stuff like that. Yeah. But
Well, it goes
I
back to those
yeah.
three answers I told you earlier that I learned.
Mhm.
Same can apply to law enforcement. Yes, no, I don't know. Let me find out. Let me get you help. So I mean, it's a little bit basic for law enforcement, but yeah, those three answers can prevent so many problems. It's when you stutter and trip over your words and you either are creative because you don't know the answer, but just be honest with people and patience.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the field you were in before, it's not always easy to be patient, not always be peaceful because those situations can be extremely unpredictable, and sometimes you do get adrenaline caught up. But yeah, if you can try to find that peace and try to find that calm, and it can change so many situations. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't disagree. There's those heat of the moment situations, and you have to determine whether or not it's a life or death situation. And if it's not a death situation, you just slow down.
Yeah.
I've actually I've actually seen some situations where it was unnecessary the amount of violence that was used,
Hmm.
and it's just people got caught in the moment. So, but it's so essential. You were about to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to expand on that. So again, as I mentioned, right out of college, I worked for a pediatric hospital, and specifically, I worked in their psychiatric inpatient unit. And just even that, just de-escalating situations, lowering your voice, creating
Mm,
space, all of these things that, again, can apply to everyday interactions.
yeah, yeah, and it's super important with like networking. So you're big into networking. I'm big into networking. And I know money pages from networking, specifically with you, specifically with Cynthia. So we're in the same networking group. We're both in BNI together. And there's a bunch of different chapters. Would you say that BNI is essential for what you do?
So that's a fabulous question. I kid you not. Over the last about 9 years of my career, I've looked at about 15 different, probably have attended 15 BNI meetings, attended 10 different chapters, and I fought it for a long time because I didn't understand it. I
Yeah,
had preconceived notions, as a lot of people do. It's a cult. It's really strict. It takes up a lot of your time. Well, I finally made the decision. Joined May of last year. Joined a chapter called BNI Synergy, and it's fabulous. And we can't undo the past, but I wish I had joined earlier. But you know what? Sometimes it's all about timing. The timing was right. The people were right. The position I'm in is right. So yeah, BNI that here in Jacksonville, in Northeast Florida, I think there's 30 some chapters, and I believe there are 4 or 5, myself and 4 or 5 coworkers, and we have some competitor market. Sorry, we have some competitors, I believe, in the market who are in BNI as well. Point being, there's not a lot of us out there. So I've had a lot of successes in cross chapter networking. I visited a chapter this morning, and yesterday or Tuesday, no, yeah, yesterday subbed in a chapter. So I've had great experiences within my own chapter and branching out and reaching people in other chapters.
yeah. So
So yeah, any
for me,
business that's
yep.
considering it and don't think they have time, or sorry, if they don't think they have time, or it's too constricting, that's silly, because BNI is international, and depending on where you want to focus your business, you can stay here in your backyard in your zip code in Florida, or you can reach businesses across the state, across the southeast, across the country, and across the world. So it's really exciting.
I 100% agree. I've actually had couple people reached out to me from out of state. One guy from California, another guy from like South Carolina, and somebody reached out to me from India. So, and they're all in BNI as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just because they found me on the BNI Connect app. One thing that I
Mhm.
feel like some people think, and I was going to actually make an episode or a reel about this, is some people wish they were born into different families for those connections, you know? And so for me, I feel like
Yeah.
BNI does that. You get to pick the connections that you want to have based on the chapter a person joins. And the structure of it is super essential. There's a number of other organizations a person can join. But when you have that accountability, people perform at just such a higher level. And there's nothing like it that I've been a part of. So it's super cool for that.
No, it's true, and I'm going to brag just for a second, but it's not really bragging. I guess it's we'll call it bragging. So again, I've been a member of my chapter for a little over a year, and so May when I joined, and I believe it's October when BNI does the annual awards. Completely taken off guard. My chapter awarded me with the Giver's Gain Award. So
Nice.
why is that important? I have found that giving to others, whether it's here with business, connecting people or personally helping others. For me, I enjoy it altruistically. I get pleasure of helping others. But where I have found from a business standpoint in BNI that I've met members from cross chapter that already know someone, whether it's one of my coworkers or one of my competitors, and they choose to refer to me versus that other person because of that philosophy of giver's gain and wanting to share and being in it to expand my network and help people and connect when I can versus just showing up every week trying to see who can I reach out and do business with today.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I've been talking about it a lot. I feel like on my different episodes or different times I'm doing podcasts or reels and stuff like that. Different people they have different ways of saying it. Different cultures have different ways of saying it. Giver's gain is BNI's way. You have in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
it's you reap what you sow. Indian
Yep.
culture, it's karma, but
Mm-hmm.
it's true. It's some people think it's energy, perhaps. Like if you're putting out good energy is attracted to you. Whatever it is, it's real, and that's exactly
No,
what
I
you
100%
experience.
agree. Yep. 100% agree. Whether it's spiritual, philosophical, energy, whatever you want to call it. But I completely agree. There's so much negative out there. And unfortunately, society, we hear more of that negative. Yeah, I try to spread as much positivity and joy as possible because you're right. You attract that back to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so when you're just out there connecting people, and to kind of bring money pages back into this, people are seeing that brand though at the same time.
Mhm.
It's like with me, when I'm doing podcasts and stuff, my brand is still associated with what I do. And so you're a great representation for money pages. You're an ambassador at the same time as being an employee.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's so
so
true.
go ahead.
Anything out there. No, you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter what industry, whether you had a bad experience or a good experience at a fast food restaurant or the roofer you hired or your car insurance agent or I mean even government, the way they worked with you, all of that one person, that one interaction can completely injure or tarnish a business's just stop reputation, or it can completely expand it and change people's minds. They may have had a preconceived notion that whatever company is not good or has bad employees or bad service, but when you hear the opposite from someone you trust, yeah, I completely agree. And it's interesting. I remember years and years, probably as a teenager, my mom saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's a lot of truth to that, but you can change people's opinions, or help change people's opinions by spreading that positivity, whether it's about yourself or have experiences with other businesses. And I try to do that if I'm at the grocery store or wherever. So many times managers hear the negative, they're getting complaints. And then when you can share that I kind of am torn. I feel bad, but I'm happy all in the same, because you can see when the manager comes to you, they already have their guard up and they're ready to sit there and defend their employee. They're ready to give out free service, free whatever. But when you say, hey, I just wanted to take time and tell you what a great experience I had, or how employee XYZ went above and beyond, or give them some kind of praise. First of all, you just see their body language. Their muscles just loosen. They breathe easier. You see a brightness in their face, and it's rewarding, but it's also disheartening that they have that experience so infrequently.
Yeah. No, you can see like the people that, especially like in customer service. So I frequent Walmart, and if you go to the customer service station to do a return, it's like their soul. They've been so beaten down by these silly reasons for returns, just like receipt. Okay, because they've heard so much. But it's nice to get out there and change people's perspective. That's one of the things I did in law enforcement. So if you're familiar with St. Louis was like ground zero for a lot of the protesting that happened. That started in 2014, the modern protesters, and I was right there, And for me, after those protests erupted and such, I would go out and I would interact with people, and they were expecting a negative experience. And I found great joy in just changing their perspective just based off of an interaction. And also now coming down here to Florida and going into the solar industry, people have a negative perspective of what they think a solar professional is supposed to be, because there's a lot of people that just want that quick sale, but that's not what it's about. Yeah.
I completely agree. Same in my industry, right? So the way I describe myself all the time to people, I say I'm not a used car salesperson, and I'm not an annoying mosquito. I'm not going to sit here and wheel and deal you and haggle and sit here and try to get the best thing just to earn your business for 1 month. And if you're not interested, I'm not going to call you every week. I'm not going to call you every month. Sometimes people just need time to make that decision, whether it's financial, personal, restructuring their business. You never know. But yeah, I completely agree that relationships, long-term business relationships and personal relationships are much more important to me than just coming down. And certain industries have that negative stigma that people just assume that, you're just a slimy salesperson and all you care about is a sale and not the individual. But I want to go back to what you said also about how you interact with people and customer service. And it starts with just simple, hello, how are you today? When you pick up the phone, it doesn't matter who you're calling. If you're paying a bill, you're calling to inquire about something, but just simple things. How's your day going? How's the weather? Anything like that to break the ice. That's another interesting social experiment I've seen, how there's the pause. A lot of times people don't know how to respond because they're so used to someone either coming right at them negative or let me talk to whoever, and they don't even get a chance to say hello. So it's interesting when you can just treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's I feel like it's a phenomenon that's occurring. I feel like we're more disconnected now as a society. Mm-hmm. I blame COVID, but I also got to think the internet and social media, it makes people not appear real. They're just a person on a screen, and you can say whatever you want to them because they're not in your life, so to speak. And as a society, we just need to do better as far as treating others the way we want to be treated. That's one of the reasons I started the page, Be Nice Individuals. The name is
it's great. When I first thought, I was like, that's cool. And then I looked at it, I was like, and it was before I knew you were in BNI. I was like, I think he's in BNI. This is a sneaky way to promote BNI. Like, that's ingenious. I love it.
Yeah. And so just having this opportunity now, because it started with subs and I wanted it to be one to ones and stuff like now, but now I'm trying to highlight people that are in the group just because, and I'm I'm throwing that out there to pretty much anybody. It's a
Yeah.
lot easier than me actually meeting at a location
Mhm.
and and recording it. I would rather go live because it's super easy and I'm lazy. I don't know if you've ever done any video editing, but
Yeah.
if you do like an hour long video, it might take 4 or 5 hours or more, much more to edit. But when
Yeah.
you go live, there's no edits.
It's so true. You're right. I mean, people don't realize these commercials we see on TV, on our phones, our computers. Yeah, they took a lot, much, much longer than you would think. One, to just film and then
Hmm.
correct. Two, to edit. It's there's a lot of work. So if people ever question why does videography cost so much, just
Hmm.
sit in, not even on the shoot, but I mean, and then you have pre-production as well, right? All of the planning. Is it scripted? Is it not scripted? Where is it going to occur? Scouting out locations. Yeah, there's so much that goes into shooting a video well. Let's say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we jump off, I want to just open the floor to you for anything we didn't talk about. Is there anything that you want to make mention of that
Yeah.
might any type of event that's coming or anything like that?
Yeah. So people that are listening that are familiar with Money Pages that are here in Northeast Florida, you might not know that Money Pages is actually the official publisher for the Jaguars game day program.
Hmm.
For every home game that the Jaguars have, there is a program that's created specifically for that game. A different player is spotlighted on the cover. Within the magazine, a different cheerleader, a different fan are spotlighted. Obviously, information about the home team and the away team. That's another great advertising option for local businesses that are looking to reach people with money to spend. There's 10,000 printed per game. They're given out free at every entranceway, including the club entry level entries. And it is the most affordable way to advertise in the stadium, and people take it home with them. So it's not like having a banner on the wall or something on the Jumbotron. People are actually taking the programs with them. Sometimes visitor or attendees are able to get autographs if they get there in time before the game or if they have VIP passes. But I know there's different ways to meet the players. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for local businesses to spotlight their business outside of the magazine. Actually, jumping back to the magazine, something that I was sharing with you earlier, we do have some premium locations within the magazine. And I know for the month of August, so we're getting ready to go to print here next week for July, but for the month of August, I do know that the inside front cover. So as soon as someone opens the magazine, that first page on the left is available in the Palm Coast area. So anyone who's looking to specifically reach residents with money to spend in Palm Coast, that is available in August, as well as the E8, which is part of Jacksonville that reaches homes from Queens Harbor all the way out to Fort Caroline. So all of those homes that are north of Atlantic all the way up to the river. Great way to reach homeowners in that area if you have a business that's looking to specifically reach homes in that area.
Well, that's awesome. So I really thank you for coming out. Like, I want to help promote other people. And when I interacted with you, I just loved your energy and all that. So, again, thank you for being on the podcast. We're going to do this again in the near future, but
Yeah.
let people know how they can contact you as well,
Yes.
specifically for any advertisement that they might need.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I obviously have the gift of gab. I don't have problems speaking, whether I'm staring at a dot on my computer, but at least I hear you. So that's good. And I can peek over. But no, thank you so much for this opportunity. I truly appreciate it. And I agree. I love your energy. I'm so thankful that we were connected, whether it was through Monica Z or someone else, but very fortunate to have you in my circle. And yes, I'm old school. I love to talk. So a call on my phone, my cell phone, or text is perfect. My cell phone, I am one of those stubborn transplants that didn't change their number, but I am here, not in Arizona. I have an Arizona number. My cell phone is area code 480 242-3676. And yeah, call or text is great. Email is good as well. That's MOLLY.MCDANIEL at moneypages.com.
Hey, that's great. So, folks, make sure you reach out to Molly. Make sure that, just get your questions asked and answered, not asked. I mean, you can ask some
You
questions
can
that you
ask,
can
yeah.
answer, obviously. But
And
get your questions.
so
Yeah, go ahead.
not just for business, but I love connecting people. So
That's true.
if you
That's
want a
true.
resource, some weird things, I have found homes, no joke, for 2 pianos. A church was getting rid of a piano.
Wait,
Yes.
what?
I kid you not. Yes. Someone I know, a commercial real estate broker, helped a church sell their building. They had a piano, and I helped it get placed with an organization here in Jacksonville called the Pace Place. It's essentially a day center for seniors off Lenox Avenue on the west side. And as well, the Jacksonville Children's Choir had a piano they were looking to find a home for, and I helped that get placed with one of the Silver Treasures senior assisted living facilities. So they now have a piano there. So yeah, I can make weird connections that just make people happy. So yeah, reach out if you have a weird thing you want to
You
know.
have a piano that needs rehoming.
Yeah, I just am the puzzle piece filler. I just love to find ways to find connections and make them fit. So yeah, please reach out just for that. See what my fun connections. And if I can't get an answer, I will work so hard to find that person who can help.
That's awesome. Well, again, thank you for coming on the podcast, and we'll have you back on again. Maybe we'll have some stories about networking. Maybe I'll throw in some cop stories or something like that.
I like that. And I can throw in some crazy psych stories too. So
I'm
awesome.
sure you can.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, and always a pleasure spending time with you. Have a blessed day.
You too. And we'll see you next time.